this is Dan and welcome back to the shop. Today we're going to be taking apart this 2009 Mercury Milan just to let you guys see what's inside. And when I mean taking apart, I'm talking about everything. Everything is going to be taken apart to the bone. But before we get started, if you did not yet subscribe, you can do that right now so you don't miss any interesting videos, because we will be doing a video at the end of a time lapse of me cutting up whatever's left of the body. So the shell, we're gonna just chop it up and we're gonna have a little time lapse of it coming together and coming apart. I think it's gonna look really cool. But that's not over yet. We're gonna go outside right now since it is snowing outside. You can see how many times I tried pulling in here. Very difficult to come in here at the greater speed and pull it without hitting anything. So we're gonna go outside and do some donuts before we take this puppy apart. Alright guys, so we're finally done taking apart this car. Aside from the front windshield and the rear window, it's pretty much all set. You might see a few screws and a few little loose wires, but this is it guys. This is how it looks inside. This is pretty much the bare bone. I have the airbags in there left for the sides because I want to deploy them and show you guys how it looks like with the airbags being deployed in the car while you're not in it, hopefully. All right, here it is. This is just bare, some trash, It looks like a lot of this stuff is just tack welded, okay, and tack weld, and the rest is just glued together. Seams, they seam them together, tack weld and a little bit of glue. Most of the tack weld and glue. So this car is pretty much tack welded and glued together. Yeah, over here, tack weld, tack weld, tack weld. It just gets pinned, tack welded pretty much everywhere. And then they're pretty much just stamped steel. Tack weld, tack weld, tack weld, tack weld. And then you have the seams, the bigger pieces. These pieces are sealed maybe for air, but you can see the tack welds pretty much everywhere. This car is literally just tack welded together, and it works. Here we are. This is the front engine bay. Nothing left. So I'm gonna lift it up really quick and we'll show you the undercarriage. All right, so here we have it. This is the undercarriage. Also, you can see it's just tack weld, tack weld, tack weld, tack weld. It's just all tack weld together. This is where the spare tire goes. The rear suspension was right here. Exhaust down the middle. Yeah, it also had wires and stuff, but yeah, this is from the underneath. I mean, honestly, you can see I'm gonna just pick this up. I'm not even sure if it's heavy or not. Let's see if I can take this off with one hand. Wow, look at that. That's not that heavy. I mean, I'm doing that by myself. Look, it picks up on both sides. So yeah, this is not really that heavy body. It's just really thin, all tack welded together. There we have it. All right, so let's just go to the rest. I'm just gonna go over all these parts pretty quick. So these are the two doors, the front door, rear door. I didn't take those apart. I took one apart to show you what's inside. Otherwise I'm not gonna take apart all of them for no reason. Here's the front seat, another front seat. This is the rear seat, okay? The backrest, the seat cushion, center console. This is the exhaust, that's the catalytic converter. That's the muffler. I'm not sure what this is. I think it's a resonator. This is the gas tank. It's steel. I'm surprised for 09 they have a steel gas tank. Usually they use plastic. This is the gas filler tube. Okay, this is the heat core. The heat core is inside. Here's your fan that will blow through the heat core, and these are all your valves. There's little motors that turn everything. Here's your motors that open and close to get you the right amount of air. And you can see you have the AC lines and the hot water, coolant lines that go inside. This is the door, and this is how it looks inside. This is empty. I took the window regulator out, and the glass, the mirror, and the wiring. That's just the doors complete behind. This is the parts that's inside that door. So we have, this is the window regulator, and that's and with this door it had a big metal plate that held the motor and the window regulator attached to the door, so it's a little different than the different cars. Those are two fenders. This is the glass that I took out. This is the electronics. This car did not have a lot of electronics. I'm surprised. Usually cars have a lot more electronics than this. You got computers. This is the I think this is a main computer. Who knows what that is? That's the fuse box, your light switches, that's your brake pedal, your shifter right there, your speedometer, your radio. These are all seat belts. This is all the seat belts for the car. Okay. This is your charcoal box. Okay, for your fuel, your steering wheel. This is for your washer fluid, radiator, coolant reservoir. This is your master brake cylinder. This is your air box, your ABS pump. Okay, that's your horn. This is your steering column, part of it at least, with the ignition. And that metal rack goes between both sides of the cars, and that really holds everything together, make sure that nothing gets crushed on you, I guess. You got the hood latches, the wipers. This is the wiper motor assembly. This is the front bumper, okay? That's the door panel. Off that door, like I said, I took apart one door just to show you what's inside one. You don't have to take off all of them. It's the door panel, the glass. These are headlights, okay, 1, 2. Here's a mirror, the battery. These are the tail lights for the trunk. These are the tail lights in the outers. Those are the main tail lights. Visors, little light console. This is the radiator fan with the resistor. That's your grill. This is your hood. That's your spare tire with the jack and the kit that was inside. That's your little speaker for one of the doors. That's the window switch, lock switch. These are the 4 rims. That's the rear bumper. That's the rear hatch. Okay, it's all empty. It's the latch for the hood. This is the rear bumper support. This is the plastic that goes over the rear bumper support. This is the front bumper support. It's just plastic with actually metal underneath. This is the radiator. This is the rear suspension. I'm not going to take it apart. You can see how it works. These are the rear shocks. Okay, or struts, I mean. And you got the springs. You got all the control arms. You got the brake. You have the rotor, and you have your small little sway bar on this thing. Your e-brake on both sides, and yeah, these are the wires. This is for underneath. This is where you had the return fuel. This is the fuel for from the gas tank to the motor. Return, I believe. These are the brake lines. Okay, they're just wires. This is the motor. Okay, this is the engine. You got the transmission here. The engine's here. You got another catalytic converter. This is the flex pipe, connects to the rest of it. You got the shocks and the steering rack. It's the cradle, engine cradle. Yeah, so I'm not, in this video, I'm not going to be taking apart this motor. This is going to be a separate video. I'm going to completely take apart the whole front suspension, down to the motor. Everything is going to be apart. The whole motor is going to probably be disassembled pretty much to nothing. So it's going to be laid out. So there's a lot of parts in here. So obviously I'm not going to be doing it in this video. Now over here, this is just a pile of trash, okay? I mean, I consider it trash. I mean, I'm not even going to go over it because it's just plastic pieces and rubber seals for the door. There's nothing electronic here really. There's no really mechanical parts. This is just carpets and wheel wells and little plastic shields and aluminum shields for the exhaust, and just a lot of the interior cloth parts and plastic pieces. So it's just a big pile of rubbish. Over here you can see this is all the wires. This is all the wires that was in the car. I'm surprised this is not a lot. I definitely seen a lot others with a lot more. This is the shield for the gas tank from the exhaust. But yeah, this is all the parts, guys, right here. Engine, all this trash, you know, considering trash. And the bumpers, here we are, all the parts laid out for you. And fuel pumps, obviously, and still it's a gas tank. And yeah, here's a couple other things. Here's the, yeah, I think I already mentioned that. This is the brake, that's the shifter. This is the gas pedal. Okay, that's the e-brake right there. ABS, the airbag module, antenna, little stuff like that. But yeah, here's the car. This is it. Now I'm going to be chopping this thing up. Okay, and pretty much you guys can see. I'm going to probably have a different video about the time lapse of this whole thing going from start to finish into a pile. Well, folks, this is it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please subscribe. And if you have any comments, please leave them down below. And if you have any suggestions on what you want to see next, also leave it in the comments, and we'll see what we can do.